Hey, nerdy sports fan here. We're talking NFL offseason. So it's not quite combine time. It's not quite free agent time. It's not quite draft time. But we know what every team has in cap space. We know some things that they're losing, some things that they need. Let's talk about it. So let's get into the Carolina Panthers here. Now, they've got $32 million in cap space, and that is crap. Considering the season that they had, you don't know what's going on with Cam Newton. You don't know if he's ever going to be right again. Christian McCaffrey was a phenom, but are you overusing him? Are you overworking the dude to the point where he's going to end up hobbled and useless by the time the rest of the team is suitable to win? What do you have in the receiving core? You don't really know because you didn't necessarily have a consistent quarterback throwing them the ball. DJ Moore looked real good. What else is there? Offensive line was up and down at best. Christian McCaffrey made these guys look a lot better than they actually were. What's going on defense now that Kuechly retired? What the hell are you going to do to replace Greg Olsen? Is this new head coach out of Baylor going to be the guy? Why in the hell did you give him that much money? There's a lot of questions here. All right, there's not a lot of answers, and there's not a lot of ways to get those answers. With less than $32 million in cap space, they got to pull off some damn witchcraft. I mean, the only way that's enough money is if Cam Newton comes back and he's an MVP quarterback again. That's it. That is it. If Cam Newton comes back and he is the man, like he used to be, then that amount of money makes sense. You got Run CMC in the backfield. You maybe upgrade the offensive line a little so you can keep Cam Newton protected better, get some better running lanes for McCaffrey, and address some defensive needs. Considering Kuechly's retired, you really, really are going to be hurting to fill that void. One of, if not the best linebacker of his generation, retiring young. That's tough to replace. I feel for Panthers fans. Losing Olsen and Kuechly in the same offseason. That's the heart and soul of the damn team. So everybody's going to, lean on Christian McCaffrey because he's all the team knows that they have right now. I would anticipate the Panthers to be a top 5 draft pick next season. There's just too much that they have to address. There's turnover in the head coaching position, which is always difficult to deal with. There's going to be different schemes, and these guys aren't necessarily going to be comfortable in those schemes until halfway through the season. So, again, you have Christian McCaffrey. That's really it. If Cam Newton's healthy, it changes the entire course of the offseason. If Cam Newton is healthy and playing well, they're immediately in contention for winning this division. Because quarterback is that important. But if he's not healthy, if he can't go, there's not enough money in the coffers to make this a winning team this next offseason. Just is not. So, this team needs a whole new direction. The Ron Rivera era is over. It can't be run like this familial sort of situation that they've had during the Ron Rivera time. There are certain players around the league, specifically I'm thinking of Josh Norman, who know what it was like in the good years of the Ron Rivera era and could be brought back into the fold to both address a position of need and bring some veteran leadership in. But I'm not necessarily sure that Josh Norman is that kind of guy. I mean, he was the dude with the baseball bat on the side of the field, getting all sorts of penalized for it and fined. He was part of an intimidating group on defense for this team when they were at their best. Can he bring that sort of swagger back considering Kuechly's gone? I doubt it, but it'd be a fun thing to try. You know, a little stroll down memory lane, see if you can get the young people that you're going to be bringing in to really feel like there's some history in the building. An identity. It's going to be hard for Matt Brule to really shift the dynamic for this team. I understand why he demanded a good amount of money. I don't understand why the Panthers paid him the amount of money that they're giving him, but I understand why he demanded the amount of money that he did. Because this is a long project. All right? You can't bank on Cam Newton. In fact, smart money says he's never going to be the same. So that's done. You lost your defensive captain. You lost an offensive captain in Greg Olsen retiring or, forcing his way off the team so he can go to a contender in Seattle. There's so much and there's so few answers. Again, top 5 pick for the Panthers next offseason because I doubt Cam Newton's coming back healthy. Matt Brule is going to be making a boatload of money from this franchise. We have no idea what he is. He might be a waste of all of that money. You just don't know. So it's going to be an interesting preseason to watch. See if, especially in the preseason games, not necessarily the practices, see if Brule's got his head on straight for game management, clock management. You're not really going to see a lot of positional packages. It's preseason. Nobody wants to show their hand. But you will be able to see leadership. You'll be able to see what he expects out of the men in that locker room and how he holds people accountable when they make mistakes. Those are big things. And we'll be able to learn a lot about him in the first few games of the preseason. That won't be the book on him. The book won't be developed until the regular season when we see what big boy plays he brings to the table. Baylor was a suitable program just because of Rule. He really did turn that team around. He went to a team that had double-digit losses. He left a team that was getting double-digit wins in a short period of time. So he obviously knows football, but does he know NFL football? Is he going to be a good pro head coach? Because a lot of great NFL head coaches were terrible pro coaches. Nick Saban. The message changes when you move from college level to the pros. It has to. You're not speaking to a bunch of guys who know you're the man and they are temporary. You're speaking to a bunch of guys who know they are the man and you are more likely to be temporary. Top tier players get 8-10 year deals. They stay forever with a team. Coaches get strung along 3 years at a time and given the boot hard if they didn't get the team going in the right direction within a couple of years. Players know that. So he's going to have to speak to these men very differently than he speaks to the boys in college. That's going to be a culture shock for him. How does he handle it? We'll see. I'm very interested to know what Panther Nation thinks their biggest needs are because there's so many, it's difficult for me to put a number 1, number 2, number 3 on any of these things. You could easily say offensive line, defensive secondary, linebacker, any one of those is the number 1 need. You could say quarterback's the number 1 need. There's so much. So hit me up in the comments. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Keep your eye out for more videos coming this offseason for the Panthers for free agency and the draft. Thanks, guys.